Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming. You can see we're back here on F1 2020, and today we have a brand new video and a new kind of video. It's a last to first challenge. So this is for the 2020 Russian Grand Prix. We start from the back of the grid and we do a 50% race, and we have to get as far up the grid as we can and enjoy the video. So you can see we're here with the 2020 Russian Grand Prix last to first challenge. We'll be driving in the AlphaTauri of Daniil Kvyat, since he is Russian and it is his home race at Russia. I just wanted to give you guys a quick disclaimer that we're not actually trying to win the race. We're just trying to see how far up the grid we can get, and this is just a fun challenge. I know from the title of the video and the title of the challenge, you may think that we're trying to get first place, but you know, it's physically unrealistic to get first place in a car like an AlphaTauri, because we're not always going to be racing in a top car when we do these last to first challenges. But now let's see a little bit about the track at Russia.
Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrome is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport.
So let's get straight into this race then, into my first 50% race on any F1 game actually. It's pretty surprising. But now we go to 5 red lights and the last of first 2020 Russian Grand Prix challenges. Lights out and away we go. It's actually not that good a getaway. We usually have better ones, but now coming down to turn 1 we're using overtake mode, and Grosjean gives us a huge squeeze, but now we're using that slipstream rich mix and a overtake mode to fly past all these cars and down into turn 2, my favorite corner of the track. We make a big dive, but then Daniil squeezes us to the track. You can see we got a collision warning for both Ricciardo and Grosjean. I don't know why, but those were really small collisions. But yeah, he squeezed us right to the apex of turn 2. But now we make a huge dive down the inside of Kimi Räikkönen. Caught him napping there. He didn't expect us. But yeah, that was a great move. These guys are getting held up so much. Look at that, Pierre Gasly braking so early, like the rest of the cars in this train. So yeah, we're really making a benefit out of this train. Look at that, we make a dive bomb on Mr. Dive Bomb, Daniil Ricciardo. But yeah, things are looking really good for us. We're up into P11 now, and things are just, you know, it's kind of surprising how much this train is slowing down these cars, because it's much more than I expected. We come to the end of the long straight. You can see I'm not making a dive bomb on Ocon because there's just not enough space in that corner. It's too tight, so I can't make an overtake there. But now I have enough space here. We go down the inside, we ride that curb. It's okay, but you shouldn't ride it too much. And yeah, we ride the curve of that corner as well, but we make a great overtake on Esteban Ocon, and we're up into the points paying positions, P10. You can see we're right behind Lance Stroll. He's giving us a lot of dirty air from into the final 2 corners. You could see that we're getting hit by a lot of dirty air there, but now we're using so much overtake mode and rich mix as we go into hyperdrive for this long straight. And now coming to turn 2, will we make a dive bomb? No, we don't. I think we shouldn't take a risk, but Stroll has a wobble at the rear end. We get a much better exit using the overtake mode. You can see we go down the inside of turn 3. It's a beautiful move, and we get the job done into the braking zone of turn 4. I think we broke a little bit too late there, and we ran wide, and you can see Stroll getting back at us. He wants to get that position back, but we brake late again. We have a purple first sector, which is crazy, but yeah, we're doing really well here. We're flying, and now we come into hyperdrive once again, because I'm showing this to you to show how much confidence we're actually having in this car and on these tires. You can see we're just hitting those apexes really well, and now we're about to make a move on Carlos Sainz using rich mix and overtake mode. You can see I shouldn't use too much overtake mode. I think it's gonna haunt me later, but down the inside we go. Look at that camera shot, and we get that job done as well. You have to be really cautious on the exit, because you can easily run too wide that corner if you brake too late. But yeah, we're hitting a lot of engine temp issues because this dirty air is really hampering us. But as we move on to lap 3, you can see we finally get DRS, which is really valuable. But then we look behind us and Sainz is right there. That really scared me when I saw that, because he's suddenly right there, right behind us. But into turn 2, we do much better in the braking zone, my favorite corner of the track. And yeah, right now we're trying to get past Lando Norris. You can see dirty air again. I'm really starting to hate dirty air on this game. But now we go for the move down the inside. Bit of wheel banging there. Chipped his front wing a little bit, but it's okay. He won't lose any downforce. And round the outside we go. It's a beautiful move. I'm really enjoying this race so far. and it's not even been a full 3 laps. And now Lando Norris trying to get back at us on that long back straight. You can see he goes for a move down the inside, but we outbrake him, and he actually makes a bit of contact. He taps our rear wheel, shall I say, our right rear wheel. He taps it a little bit, and look at the replay cameras. You can see he dabbed the throttle actually on the apex, and then he just understeered slightly into us, and we kind of acted as a barrier. We stopped him from actually like completely understeering out of the corner. But now at the end of the main straight, you can see coming into turn 2 in that braking zone, we're just so confident. We're really confident about that braking zone, which is why we're able to stay ahead. And moving on to lap number 5, you can see that we've pulled away like crazy from Norris, and now we're within 1 second of Alexander Albon ahead. Having a lot of history with Alexander Albon on this game and on this channel especially. We keep having a battle with him because we keep fighting for P5 or P6 or such positions like that. But moving to the back straight on lap number 5, you can see I have DRS, but I don't have too much overtake mode, and I have an okay amount of fuel to spare, so I just use DRS, so that's why I can't get past him. But lap number 5 onto lap number 6, you can see we actually lose time and we don't get DRS for this main straight because the dirty air has hampered us a lot. The dirty air from the Red Bull really hampered us, and yeah, we just couldn't get that DRS that we needed so badly to get past Albon. But now we move on to later on lap number 6. You can see I've closed right up to him. First sector is pretty much my strongest sector. First and second sectors are my strongest sectors on this track. I'm really enjoying them. And yeah, using all the overtake mode we have and a lot of fuel too. We don't have too much to spare, but we're still using it because I really want to get past Albon. I want to get into the top 6 because I think that would be a really good position for us to finish in an AlphaTauri off the back of the grid. You can see we're down to single digits on the ERS and using so much fuel. And overtake mode, we go down the inside of Alex Albon into turn 2, and we still hit the apex of that kink as well. That was a really great overtake. I really enjoyed that, but Alex Albon immediately trying to get back at us. Thank you for the appreciation, Jeff. But yeah, he was immediately trying to get back at us into turn 3. But we're using rich mix a lot, so that's why we're able to stay ahead. And moving on to the back straight is lap number 7. We're fighting for P6. Around the outside, he tries to go, but we brake super late, and we actually brake too late, and we understeer, and he goes round the outside. You know, his nickname is Mr. Round the Outside. He has earned it well, but he can't do that Mr. Round the Outside move on us today because we won't let him. But now we're still forcing him around the outside, but I know that I'm gonna get this braking zone better because this braking zone is by far the one that I'm most confident in, so that's why it's really helping us out here. And into turn 3 we get a better exit because we're giving him some dirty air. So yeah, we're just doing a lot more better than him right now. And coming through turn 4, you can see that he wants to get past us. He's kind of sick of us staying ahead of him. His AI is really pushing, and so are we, but we're actually pushing a bit too much because now we're hitting tire wear, and you can see we'd be very aggressive, swerving a little bit too much. But yeah, he goes for a move down the inside, he goes, but we brake late into this corner, but it's so tight and we really compromise the line for the next corner. But yeah, we go into hyperdrive now. You can see that he goes for a move around the outside, but that braking zone really doing us wonders here. We're using that good exit and we're giving that dirty air to Albon that isn't allowing him to have a good exit. And you can see from the proximity arrows he's kind of far away because, you know, we're giving him so much dirty air as well in turn 3. He was 5/10 behind us, and now on the back straight on lap number 9 for the first time this race he isn't alongside us. He isn't making a move on us. You can see he's close up to us. You can see from the gap 2/10, 3/10 or so, and from the proximity arrows he's right there, but he's not able to overtake us. Same story at the beginning of lap number 10 coming to turn 2. You can see that he is just not able to overtake us, and by now I'm starting to hit a lot of tire wear as well. Yeah, you can see from the tire wear graphics in the game that we're hitting tire wear, but I think so is he, because we're able to create a gap in the corners that he's not able to close up in the straights. He's not able to close it up enough, so I think that's really helping us here. And on Sochi, actually, we're able to stretch the soft tires, because even in real life the surface of this circuit is such that the tire wear is less, and so we can stretch the tires even in the game. But here's an important radio message from Jeff.
Right, some information on Hamilton. They seem to have an issue.
It doesn't really seem relevant right now as the pit window opens and it is lap number 7, But yeah, it doesn't seem important because, you know, Hamilton has an issue. What's that got to do with us? Well, you're gonna see later on in the race it does help us. But then Albon trying to make a move. Finally, he has so much speed coming out of turn 1. He goes around the outside for turn 2. We block that inside line, which is oh so valuable at turn 2. But it is the same story for all the other corners, because going around the outside is actually really difficult at Russia. You need that inside line so that because then you can use that to squeeze them out at the exit. But now we come into the pit lane. We're gonna go into hyperdrive shortly because this pit lane is really long and it's really slow. So we're going into hyperdrive, but I actually got caught out a little bit. I didn't realize that we're coming in because I'm used to my team and how the pit lane is so long and we are at the absolute end. But then it's a 3-second stop, which is really slow. I mean, even in my team, and it's only season 1 of my team right now, we've had faster stops, 2-second stops. And I was actually really surprised that, you know, we had a 3-second stop here. But yeah, we come out in P13 behind Sergio Perez, who hasn't pitted yet. And yeah, we're ahead of Lando Norris, who came in for his stop at the same lap as us, and so did Lance Stroll. We're around 4 seconds ahead of Lando Norris, so that's a good comfy gap. But now, moving on to later on in this lap, you can see we're just in hyperdrive because I'm showing you that there are other cars into the pits now, including my teammate Pierre Gasly, and Sergio Perez isn't coming in yet because he actually started on the mediums. But now, as we come to the final corner, we're going to see how many positions we gain. Coming on to lap number 13, Sergio Perez is actually going to be the only person who hasn't pitted yet.
7th place. Perez is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 3.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Albon is behind you. They've just entered the pits. They're on fresh mediums. Our gap to first place is 16.3 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 15 laps still remaining.
So as we listen to that update from Jeff, I'm sure you might have noticed in the top left corner that we're actually 4.5 seconds ahead of Alex Albon. So that one lap or actually I think 1 or 2 laps that we gave Albon in free air actually costed him quite a lot because he didn't have DRS. So he lost so much time. And moving on to lap number 14, you can see Sergio Perez is really slow on these old mediums, so we've caught up to him and we have DRS on him. You can see I have so much overtake mode after that pit stop, and yeah, it's really saved me a lot of ERS energy saving because in the pit stop we just got so much overtake mode left. Cutting to later in the lap, you can see we've caught right back up to him and we're right up his gearbox, but he's holding us up so much. Look at that, you can see I'm pushing him through the corner. He is just holding us up like crazy and he's giving us so much dirty air. We got a wall of understeer through that corner, and you can see that I'm being kind of impatient, but then I decided let's wait for the DRS zone. I can easily get past him on the straight, but I'm actually not able to get past him so easily. So I have to use my overtake mode and I have to get in that slipstream, and he blocks us off. And he's wobbling on the track. That was really dangerous from him there. I don't know why he's defending that position. He's gonna lose the place anyways when he comes into the pits, but we make the dive bomb. It's not a massive dive bomb, but yeah, we get the job done pretty easily there. And we're up into P6. But look at the gap to Hamilton ahead. Hamilton was ahead of both the Ferraris, and now he's in P5, so he's around 9.6 seconds ahead. And moving to lap number 15, around a lap later, just 7.9 seconds ahead. I mean, I was pretty speechless. And here's a radio message from Jeff.
Hamilton is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 7.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 39.4. You're gaining by 1.6 seconds a lap.
I went absolutely bonkers. I thought, you know what, I did some maths and I thought that by the end of this race we would surely have gone past Hamilton, you know. It would be really easier because we're going 1.6 seconds a lap quicker. And if his engine problem or whatever problem he has, if it does remain for some time, we can stay ahead. But then, of course, I just jinxed it.
Hamilton ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 8.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 4 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:37.5. We're slower by 9/10 a lap.
I had some hopes, and then in less than a lap it just disappeared. I mean, look at that. It's 9.1 seconds the gap now. It's absolutely crazy. He just speeds ahead, and because his car problem is gone already, so our hopes of a top 5 finish are over now. And yeah, it was pretty disappointing that when I, like, less than a lap later, I just found out that Hamilton's engine problem is suddenly over. And yeah, it was pretty sad. But moving on to lap number 20, you can see that the gap behind to Albon had decreased quite a fair bit. And the gap ahead, I forgot about that. That's just crazy because I mean, Hamilton just sped ahead like crazy. But yeah, I was actually running in lean mix. That's why I lost time to Albon, quite a fair bit of time to Albon. And now I put it back into standard. Then I started using a fuel usage, like kind of strategy, or like a method to use my fuel more efficiently, because I have so much fuel in the tank and I have like a few laps left. So whenever I'm on the straights, I use rich mix, and whenever I'm in the corners, I use standard. And it's a pretty, like, you know, normal strategy. It's just that I have more fuel so I can use it more efficiently. And you can see in lap number 23, you can see that we're more than 5 seconds ahead of Albon, and we move on to the final lap of this race, more than 6 seconds gap behind. So we're in a stable position. And yeah, you can see the final lap of the race. We have loads of fuel, loads of ERS, so we can just, you know, use whatever we have, and we can just enjoy this final lap because we have nothing to worry about in terms of the positions. You can see that Valtteri Bottas wins the 2020 Russian Grand Prix in our last to first challenge. He sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. And now we're coming to the final few corners. The first half of this last to first challenge has been really hectic, especially with the battling and all that tire wear that we were facing and all the dirty air. We're coming to the penultimate corner. The checkered flag has fallen down. We come across the line to finish in P6 in this last to first challenge in the 2020 Russian Grand Prix. Of course, yeah, Jeff just says take care of the car away. I started ignoring Jeff now, as we get driver of the day since we finish in P6 from last on the grid, which is really good, and I'm really happy about this. So let's watch the podium ceremony.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
Finishing in P6 in an AlphaTauri from the last place on the grid, I think that's a successful last to first challenge. And if that does happen in real life, that Daniil Kvyat finishes in P6, I think that's really going to be good for him and for AlphaTauri. You can see that we finish a long way behind Lewis Hamilton. He just pulled away like crazy. He even overtook Sebastian Vettel. And yeah, that was a pretty enjoyable race, and we finished ahead of a Red Bull. So that's a really good achievement for us, and it would be a good one for Daniil Kvyat. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. This is F1ntastic Gaming.